Hi everybody, and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. This post is from the subreddit Relationships, and it's by user a non-account weirdo. My 24 male girlfriend, 24 female, went way too far pranking her male friend, 24 male, and now I'm wondering if the pranks are flirtation after all. My girlfriend of 2 years has had this male friend for a while. His name is Declan, and I'm not his biggest fan, but I didn't want to impede on the friendship. So she told me last week that Declan pranked her by calling her up and pretending to be Jack Nicholson with one of those soundboards, so she wants to get him back. So as a joke, the next time we were over at his place, she used his landline to call a sex hotline that charged by the minute and then just left the phone there. Declan gets charged like $200 for it, so Declan strikes back at her again. At this point, they're still just being goofy and I don't really mind. He comes over to her place for a party she has throwing, then hides this creepy decapitated doll in her closet. She finds it, freaks out, but then starts laughing. Now she wants to prank Declan even harder, so she knows he's scared of clowns, and she literally makes this giant papier-mâché clown statue that's hollow on the inside. She wants to put it in his house. Apparently his roommate will let her in or something, then hide in it all night and then pop out of it as soon as he notices it. So I tell her this seems a little extreme, but she does it anyway. Fast forward to that night. I get a call from my girlfriend because Declan apparently punched her in the face as soon as he saw her pop out of the clown thing. Totally a knee-jerk reaction because he didn't know it was her. Her nose wound up getting broken. She had to go to the hospital. Now, she's fine, although she is still wearing a splint. But she wants to continue pranking Declan. At this point, should I put my foot down? She is actually getting injured, and it makes me wonder if she just likes being around him so much that she is using the pranks as an excuse. I mentioned it to her after she broke her nose that I thought it was time to pause the prank war. She said she is going to punk Declan so hard next week, and she isn't even going to tell me what it is because she wants it to be a surprise for me too. I honestly have no idea what could be more elaborate than the clown statue. Wow, OP, are you sure you wrote down her age correctly, 24 female? I mean, how dense do you have to be that even after a broken nose, you still want to continue with this stupid prank game? I mean, the pranks just sound ridiculous and totally not funny. Forcing a $200 bill on someone as a prank is not a prank, that's stupid. Putting a decapitated doll in a closet? Okay, maybe. But then using somebody's fear to jump them? I'd say the broken nose was kind of karma by Declan. OP, I don't know if this is some sort of crush that she might have on him. I mean, you would see this in kindergarten children, but I don't know if we're a 24-year-old adult. What I do know is you do not put your foot down because you can't tell her what to do. If she decides to be an idiot, well, that's your girlfriend. Then you just need to decide if that is an attribute that actually you find attractive or not. And what do you guys think about this whole pranking situation? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see what they said. Zombies and Pandas Oh My says, well, your girlfriend is an adult, so no, don't put your foot down, but you can say, hey, you got hurt, maybe it's time to call a truce? It does sound kind of flirty to me. Did she pay him for the sex line calls, by the way? Because she totally should have. And OP replies, no, he told her it was fine and hilarious and he didn't ask her to pay him back. He also paid for her hospital bills after he punched her in the face. She says he's like her brother, but they've only been friends for 5 months. Pixel Adrift says, you've been dating for 2 years and her and Declan have only been friends for 5 months? It's almost a different matter entirely. I think this is bad news, bears. Declan wants to sleep with your girlfriend. I would definitely let her know that it makes you feel uncomfortable and see how she responds. Also, if I was in a 2-year relationship and my girlfriend started referring to a very new friend of hers as her brother, I'd be concerned too. Even if it's not intentional for her, he wants to sleep with your girlfriend. You can't control her, but you can control how you handle yourself. Be as straightforward and upfront about your feelings as possible. Fishylicious says, as someone who loves pranks, I have definitely started prank wars with guys I like as an excuse to flirt with them. I have also pranked male friends of mine with absolutely no desire to bang them, so I don't think anything in this post is evidence enough to prove that she wants to cheat. This sub is really suspicious of friendships outside of relationships, but I don't think that suspicion is always warranted. You can't put your foot down in that you can't tell her what to do, but you can at least ask for some assurance. She sounds competitive and like she doesn't want to get beat. So that may be why she wants to continue the pranks even after she got hurt. Continuing shows she's tough and not scared in her mind. That prideful mindset can be hard to get over. But explain that you're worried about her and worried about how this is escalating. You can ask her what the hell she's getting out of this that's worth getting her nose broken. Maybe that would at least make her pause and think about her motivations. Alright, well, the community gave OP's opinion, and one thing we all agree upon is that OP can't give her an ultimatum because ultimatums don't work. Now, we've got 2 updates from OP, so let's continue with the first one. I talked to my girlfriend about Declan, and I told her that the pranks are getting dangerous, and she is unreasonably close to a guy she's only known for such a short amount of time. She refers to him as her brother and her BFF, but it's literally been 5 months. I thought she would react in a mature way, but instead she said, almost word for word, "This is why I'm always pranking Declan. At least Declan has a good sense of humor. I wouldn't even need to hang out with Declan if you weren't so uptight." So at least now I have confirmation that she hangs out with Declan specifically because she thinks I'm not good enough. We wind up having a screaming match and the door rings, so she goes to get it. It's this guy in a giant gorilla costume who barges in and starts humping all our furniture. Immediately, I assume it's effing Declan, so keep in mind I was already extremely angry. I punch him in the face. He takes off the mask. It's Declan's roommate, Chad. Apparently, Declan had paid Chad $100 to scare us in the gorilla suit as a diversion. Because he was right behind Chad. While Chad was humping our furniture, Declan snuck into our bedroom and put ham underneath the mattress covers. So I tell both of these dudes to get the F out and stop pranking us. I thought I was finally standing up to Declan when finally my girlfriend tells me that the prank was hilarious and she's going to give me time to cool off. She leaves with Chad and Declan. And keep in mind, Chad's nose is still bleeding and he's wearing the gorilla suit. I haven't heard from her yet today, but I saw her post a picture of a bagel on Instagram this morning, so I know she's awake. She does this kind of thing all the time, pictures of her shoes she's wearing that day, her Starbucks order, etc. I still don't know where she slept last night or what happened with Declan. I want to break up because I'm so angry, but weirdly enough, I still really love her. I can't help it, and I don't want to waste 2 years. Honestly, everything was amazing for the first year and a half of our relationship. All of this started when Declan came into our lives. I am aware that she'll probably throw a tantrum when I break up with her, but I'm also a little worried about what kind of revenge Declan might take on her behalf. Anyway, the good thing is that even though we live together, I am the only one on the lease. We moved in together sort of gradually. She has been slowly moving in for a long time, so half of her stuff is here and half of her stuff is with her roommate. Hence why she isn't on the lease. I guess she doesn't technically live here, but she's here more than she is at her own place and she's already told her roommate she is moving out. Okay, now I do kinda think that she's flirty or she has some sort of crush on Declan, cause come on, gorilla humping furniture and ham under the covers? That's definitely not hilarious. Either that or I have no sense of humor. Anyways, OP wants to break up, so now let's move on to the final update to see how this story ends. The night of my previous post, I broke up with my girlfriend. I told her pretty much exactly what was suggested. I even told her that I thought her behavior with Declan was already an emotional affair, if not a physical one. Not surprisingly, she flipped out at me and told me I was being emotionally abusive and controlling. She told me that every ex-boyfriend she's had has been emotionally abusive and I fall right into that category. Okay. Well, because she's only kind of living with me and technically not on the lease, she's just slowly been staying here more often and has a key, it was pretty easy to kick her out. I wasn't sure if she was going to return to her old roommate, who has most of her stuff, her female friend, or if she'd start living with Declan and Chad, his roommate. When I asked her if she was going to move in with Declan, she told me it was no longer my business. Anyway, so that night I tried to relax. I was pretty upset, but pretty sure in my decision to dump her, and I felt like I could start new, meet someone else, etc. Then I got a bunch of random calls on my phone from a restricted number. When I picked up, nobody was there. So I turned my phone on silent. figuring this was one of her immature schemes. To be honest, I still don't know who did it, I'm just assuming her or Declan. And in the morning, I had 60 missed calls from restricted numbers. In the morning, I actually got a text from Declan asking to come over to pick up my girlfriend's stuff. So yes, she moved in with him. I tried to be civil because I really wanted to get her stuff out of my apartment, but I also wanted closure, so when he got here, I just told him that his relationship with her directly influenced the breakup and that I know they're together now. Now, this is where things get weird. Declan looks at me, surprised, and tells me that he doesn't think my girlfriend is into him and that he definitely isn't into her. I told him to cut the crap, that it doesn't matter anymore. He seemed to be getting anxious and panicky, so I told him to calm down. I wasn't going to hurt him, I just wanted to know the deal. Then he tells me that he knows he directly contributed to our breakup, but not in the way I think. Apparently it was Chad and not Declan who wanted to bang my girlfriend. Chad was too shy and asked Declan to befriend my girlfriend and act as a wingman. Declan has tons of female friends, so Chad thought he would effectively gain her trust and be a good in. Declan insisted the reason he kept pranking her and being goofy was because he was hoping it would paint their relationship as clearly non-romantic. Apparently, Chad paid him back for all the times he had to lose money in a prank, and Chad was actually the one paying for my girlfriend's broken nose. I told him, well, that was a stupid plan because my girlfriend moved in with you specifically to be with you, so that sucks for all three of you. Declan got extremely upset and seemed to be practically shaking at the idea that my girlfriend had feelings for him. He was acting like he murdered someone. So now my girlfriend, well, ex, is living with the guy she has a crush on who has no feelings for her and a guy who has a crush on her but was too creepy and weird to say it. I hope they all have fun together. Wow, OP, so karma was displayed all over, and not that I condone violence, but I think you punched the right guy then. In any case, OP, you made the right decision. Good riddance, and now you can move on, be single for a while, and learn more about yourself, maybe meet somebody new in the future. Thank you so much for sharing, and take care. Now, let's move on to the next post. This post is from the subreddit Pro Revenge, and it's by user RemarkableYouth504. Do not want me to work my notice? Okay, I will not work during my notice. This happened almost 5 years ago. Some details are intentionally vague. So, I was working in an organization that was super toxic. So much so that we were a revolving door. Most employees stayed only for a few months. To counter this, our management put a 3-month notice into everyone's contract, including the existing employees. It's not strictly illegal where this happened, but very unusual. I believe the idea behind that was to make it harder for the employees to find a job outside, as potential employers don't usually want to wait for 3 months. However, this didn't work as most people simply quit and waited for a month or two before starting their job hunt. I was there for almost 4 years. I needed the money, so I put up with whatever abusive crap was thrown at me. My boss was a guy we'll call Vince, not his actual name. Now, Vince was not particularly good, but he sometimes respected the fact that I was the most tenured grunt in this organization. Do note that after about 2 years, I was doing a lot of additional work in addition to my official responsibilities, primarily because I was the only one who knew how to do them. Everyone else had already left. This will become important later. Enter Rajesh, also not actual name. Rajesh was poached from a somewhat infamous company and was literally flown in from a different continent. He was brought in to strategically improve our division. This was quite strange given that our division generated the most profits. Within months, Rajesh made the environment even more toxic. He pulled Vince's team under him and got Vince fired, and he actively encouraged us grunts to spy on each other. Rajesh also had it out for me from day one. Until today, I don't know why. He started making my life much harder than the others. This culminated in him taking me aside and telling me that I was not pulling my weight. Now, at this point, I was doing quite well in the organization. Plus, I have been doing a lot of additional work critical to our business since only I knew certain systems and processes. See high attrition above. So I was quite angry. I started looking out. I wasn't still brave enough to quit and start looking. Fortunately, I was able to find a job that was willing to wait the 3 months. So it was my turn to take Rajesh aside and tell him I quit. Boy, Rajesh was pissed. He went from denial, "You can't quit," to negotiation, "What if I give you a raise at the year end?" before acceptance. Thus, I was serving my notice and working away like an honest bee, my usual work plus the additional work. At this point, I was called in by HR and told that Rajesh wanted me gone. The insane part was that they wanted me to pay the company for the 2.5 months shortfall in notice. I obviously refused, then went back and checked the contract. Turns out that a notice of fewer than 3 months could only happen through mutual consent, and the initiating party, the company if they wanted me gone sooner, or me if I wanted to leave earlier, had to compensate the other party for the shortfall. The next day, I stopped doing almost all of my work. I logged in and logged out my hours and did jack crap. I stopped doing any additional work I have been doing and started taking it really slow on my primary job responsibilities. Since no one else understood the details of what I did, I knew it would be very hard for Rajesh or HR to prove that I was doing any of this on purpose. Then I sat back with my popcorn. Soon there was a complete meltdown all around. Rajesh would pull me into meetings and scream and try to bully me, and I would say nothing but smirk to his face. Next, they tried to have someone else learn the additional work I used to do from me so that they could do what I did. Remember I said earlier how I was the only one who knew some of the old systems and processes? Well, now I claimed I didn't really remember any of them, so obviously there could be no handover. Rajesh could do nothing, as none of this had been my responsibility or part of my contract, since the leadership had been only too happy to see me do this for free. Soon, my workplace turned into a dumpster fire. Then, HR and Rajesh smartened up and offered to buy out my notice if I cooperated and helped transition my work. I refused. Then, to twist the knife further, I started having meetings with fellow grunts. Remember, everyone was always a newbie? And encouraging them to leave as well. Indirectly, nothing that could implicate me. HR tried to get me to leave twice more, but I ended up serving the full 3 months. Remember the mutual consent part? OP's edit. Since a lot of people asked, the company is still around. They started outsourcing a lot of our work to Asia, specifically the country that Rajesh was originally from, where I believe the labor laws are much less stringent and employees are much more willing to put up with a toxic work environment. Rajesh is also doing very well for himself. He has now moved to yet another country, one a lot of Redditors are from, and is with an employer that employs an F-ton of people. I suspect some of you reading this have or will come in contact directly or indirectly with him. My condolences. Wow, OP, imagine doing only what your contract stated that you should do, sent your whole department into meltdown. Good for you for sticking to your guns. Thank you for sharing, OP. And it's that time that we've reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed today's stories. I really did enjoy reading them to you. So if you did, then don't be shy and go ahead and give the video a like. And don't forget to subscribe or even share this video with people that you might think will enjoy my storytelling. Also, if you have the time, go down to the video description and check out all the links I have for you, from our Discord community to my channel merch. And finally, I'd like to say thank you for watching. It really means a lot to me that you enjoy my videos. And having said all that, I'll see you guys in the next video.